Now, I'm going to start this week out with a series of questions. Here we go. It's 4 questions. What do these 4 things have in common? Those 4 things are the movie Pineapple Express, legal weed, the whole tariff thing going on right now, and Bitcoin. What do those, come on, fingers, those 4 things have in common? Hello and welcome to your Mining Disrupt News Surge for Monday, April 14th, 2025. Now, before I reveal the answer to those 4 things, what those 4 things have in common, how they all link together, I need you to like, I need you to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and if you like what I'm doing here, trying to keep things entertaining and educational, but no financial advice, leave a comment. Keep that conversation about Bitcoin going. This is where you're going to get that news. Now, before I reveal that answer, we need to look at the numbers. There's some clues here. Right now, the Bitcoin price on Friday, April 11th is $83,000. But that's not what I want you to focus on. There's 2 numbers that I really want you to pay attention to. The hash rate, the 14-day average is 877.777 exahash. That's monumental. That's huge. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more here in a second because something big happened there. And then also the public nodes, 21,000. If you've been following along for a little while, you know that that number has continually crept upwards. I believe the lowest I can ever remember it was something like 13, 14 something thousand, mid-teen thousands. And the highest I've ever seen it is a little bit over 22,000. That number keeps on creeping up. And that has a big clue as to what ties those 4 things together. As far as the hash rate, this happened. This is being reported by TFTC 21. Bitcoin's hash rate surpassed 1 zettahash for the first time ever earlier this week. This means that in aggregate, miners around the world produced 10 to the 21st power hashes per second for a period of time. 1 sextillion hashes. Keep your jokes at home. And you're bearish, Anon? Now, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but this still absolutely blows my mind. Bo Hines, Executive Director, President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets, he's kind of the architect behind what's happening with Bitcoin, isn't getting very many likes, retweets. Like, he doesn't get nearly as much traction as you would think for somebody of this guy's stature. He doesn't even have 100,000 followers right now. That's crazy. That's also another clue to what I'm talking about, what links those 4 things together. Now, this next one is a clip. It's about 2 odd minutes long, I think. I'm not going to play it. 2 minutes, 19 seconds from Marty Bent here. I'm not going to play the full thing. You can watch it below. I encourage you to watch it. That's a clip from this episode right here, Sam Hyde, The Moist Thinkers, and it has, a bit over 250,000 views, 385,000 4 days ago. And he's talking about Bitcoin. He's talking about Bitcoin in a way that many Bitcoiners don't talk about. He understands Bitcoin, and he's been on the Bitcoin game for a hot minute. Marty Bent says about a decade. I don't know if that's accurate, but it's longer than yesterday. He's reaching a pretty wide audience. This is another really big clue into what those 4 things have in common. Moving right along, we've got this from Pierre Richard. He says, Bitcoin maximalist ideology is spreading. And he's quoting this from Taylor Barr. It says, this morning, Senator Tom Tillis and Hickenlooper have reintroduced the Proving Reserves of Others Funds Proof Act. The bill prohibits commingling of customer funds and establishes proof of reserve standards for digital asset institutions. Seems like the Bitcoin ethos is spreading. The Bitcoin idea is spreading. The idea of sound money is spreading. And now I'm going to tell you what those 4 things have in common. Those 4 things being, I'll remind you, Pineapple Express, legalized weed, the whole tariff thing going on, and Bitcoin. They have network effects in place. Now, I asked Grok if the release of Pineapple Express, which was mid-2008, had any impact on the legalization of weed, which happened in Washington State and Colorado in 2012, and then you could go and start buying weed in shops a couple years later in 2014. And Grok said, well, it'd be speculative to say that Pineapple Express had anything directly to do with the passing of those bills, but it was inarguably part of a cultural trend. Weed was being talked about. It was in more mainstream things. It was in many other movies, TV shows. It was being talked about. It was more, hey, maybe this thing isn't quite all that bad. Now, there's something else that happened back in 2016 that doesn't get nearly enough attention in relation to what's happening right now today. In 2016, the unprecedented happened, except he became a president, and so it was a president. Okay, bad joke. Donald Trump, this outsider, this businessman that people said, oh, he can't play. He's not a politician. What is he doing? He can't win the presidency. There's no way. And then he won. That changed people's views, and people went, whoa, I guess I need to start paying attention to politics. Well, guess what's happening right now as people all across the internet are going, whoa, what's happening with money? Tariffs do what? Taxes, huh? What's going on? Maybe I should pay attention to what? Wait, my stocks, my 401k, what's an equity? What's a secure? How does, what, huh? Money, huh? And they're doing some research. On this note, I was talking to a business owner recently, and he told me that he recently got some Bitcoin. Okay, great, wow, it was kind of surprising. And he also told me, kind of amusing, because he found it amusing, that his accountant, his bookkeeper, was not thrilled at the idea. And he asked, well, why not? Why does this matter? And the bookkeeper was like, well, you could put all the standard things. Why not this? Why not that? And the business owner said, well, that's true. I could do that, but my Bitcoin is doing way better than those other things. And the bookkeeper said, I just don't understand it. There's going to be a point in the not so distant future where the people go, I don't understand it, and I don't care. I guess I need to get some. If it's been around for 15, 16, 20, 25, 30 years, maybe it's not going away. Now, it's my opinion that you should be paying attention to what this thing is sooner than later, because that Pineapple Express, Colorado and Washington legalizing weed moment is coming. And it's not strategy. That's not the one to break it to the mainstream. It might be GameStop, though. That might really make people's heads spin. You saw how much coverage GameStop was getting. You saw the movies that were made. That was a cultural moment. I thought that was going to be the thing that woke people up to paying attention to money. And it did me, and it did a lot of other people. But there is something even bigger coming, and we might actually be in the middle of that moment with this whole tariff thing. What I do know is that whatever that moment is that makes people go, oh, I need to get some of this thing, it's coming. And when it happens, that suddenly moment is going to hit us like a ton of bricks. It seems to me that learning about Bitcoin sooner rather than later would be a really good idea, because by the time your weed head buddy smoking bong is saying, hey man, you know what, I'm getting that Bitcoin, and you don't have any, it might be too late by then. It's never too late, but comparatively, you might be too late. Until next week.